Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ramya. I'm a software engineer at Microsoft. I'm also the maintainer of the open source project behind the Go plugin for Visual Studio Code. Google every year creates the survey at the end of the year to figure out the current state of things among Go developers and in the community. One section there is about developer tooling. Two things caught my eye this year when I was looking at the results. One, of course, is that VS Code is the top editor of choice among Go developers. Yay. Thank you for that. I really appreciate all the love and support that you've been showing us. The second thing is, when the question was asked, what is lacking in the editor landscape? One of the things that came up was debugging support. People need improved debugging support. That got me thinking, well, for VS Code, we have been shipping a couple of improvements, some big, some small, but what are the chances that customers are actually getting to see what these changes are? What if these are not very much visible and we are losing an opportunity to tell you that, hey, that thing that you thought didn't work now works? So I wanted to take this opportunity to show you the top 5 things we've done in this year, where debugging is concerned. So let's get right to it. Number 1, adding and removing of breakpoints when you're in the middle of debugging. You might think, well, adding and removing of breakpoints, isn't that the very basic of debugging in an editor or an IDE? Well, it is. But if you know anything about how debugging integration is done in any editor for Go, you would know of this tool called Delve. Now, Delve doesn't allow you to add or remove breakpoints when the program is actually running. It allows you to do that when it's in a paused state. So say you hit a breakpoint, now you're in a paused state, you can create new breakpoints at that point. But once the program is running, you can't do that anymore. So we figured out, well, let's simulate a pause. So now if you do try to add a breakpoint in the middle of the program running, we first send a halt request to Delve saying pause, create the breakpoint, and then send a continue request to continue the debugging process. So that's how you now can do this. This has been one of our most popular requests. Well, I want to create breakpoints. I don't want to stop my program. So this is now possible. Second one, attach to an already running local program. So again, speaking of Delve, Delve allows you to debug in 3 ways. It has 3 main commands. Delve debug, which starts off your program in the debugging mode. Delve connect, which assuming you have a headless server running somewhere else, Delve connect allows you to connect to it. The third one is Delve attach. This is the one which takes in, say, a process ID of a local process that's running and then allows you to attach to it. It's this third flavor that VS Code Go plugin had not been supporting for a while. Now we do. But your next question might be, well, what about remote? Can I attach to an already running remote program? Right now, you are required to run a Delve headless in your remote instance, be it a container or another machine. We are working on improving this performance, behavior. We're trying to improve the behavior here because a lot of teams have vested interest in this. You might have heard VS Code, Microsoft and VS Code had shipped this remote set of extensions, right? Remote SSH, remote WSL. So for that to have a complete good end-to-end experience, we need to have a good remote debugging experience. From Google, there is an extension called Cloud Code. They need to have a proper end-to-end experience when it comes to remote debugging. So what am I saying here? It is in the next couple of months, you will see improvements in this area. So keep an eye out on the changelog for your next update of the Go extension. Configurable Stacktrace depth. By default, you go to a 20 level of your stack trace, that sidebar that you see while debugging. That's the default level that is for VS Code today. For most time, I never got a request of increasing this until one fine day when somebody's like, well, I have this program that really goes in deep and I have 30 levels and now I can't see anything. So there you go. Now you can configure the depths that you can go all the way. So by default, it is still 20. There is a configuration setting. Tweak it as you need, and that request goes all the way to Delve, and Delve returns all the levels of how many ever levels of stack trace do you need. Next one, the variable pane. So the screenshot over here looks very simple. You right-click on the variable that you see for the current state. You can see set value, copy value, so on and so forth. This feature was available in VS Code for a long time, but not for the Go plugin. What was missing? Basically hooking up VS Code to the proper Delve request. For example, set value corresponds to the set method in Delve. So all we had to do is provide these plugin model, and now you have these features. This is again new this year. Try them out. If you find any bugs, log an issue. We'll work together to get it fixed. Well, that's how open source works, right? Show pointer address. Again, another thing that I never thought I would need it, But I did get feedback from the community. Well, I work with pointers a lot, and I want to know what the address value is, not just the value of what is inside. So today, in the variables pane, in parentheses, as you can see in the screenshot, you can actually see the address of your pointer value as well. This has been an interesting year. First reason is all these 5 improvements that I just talked about, each one of these were community contributions. Let that sink in a bit, right? Somebody from here, someone like you, have worked, logged an issue, discussed with me, okay, what's the best way forward? What can we fix? And then, as a result of that, you have these improvements. What I want to highlight here is whether it be big or small, we can actually work together to improve the product we love. 60 different contributors this year. All the releases, like every month release that I do, 60 different contributors from the community. Hacktoberfest was my favorite month of the year, 45 PRs from 35 different contributors. But it has also been a disruptive year for the Go tooling system modules, right? Yeah. If you don't know what happened, check out Rebecca's talk on Go, Please Stop Breaking My Editor. It has all the details you need, and it tells you the story of my life in the past 1 year. Seriously. But this past 6 months has also been a learning time for me. I've realized that I can no longer be the bottleneck for this project. I need to form formal partnerships. I can no longer be the solo person writing this project. So I'm happy to announce I've been talking to people in the past couple of days, and if that is any indication of if the excitement is any indication, the coming year is going to be awesome. These are going to be my partners, Gophers at Microsoft, Google, and you, the community, and we are going to do wonders. Thank you.